Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness. Barstool, why'd you wave like that?
Because I was waving at the TV that I'm on.
Barstool's college football podcast brought to you by, well, it's complicated. It's complicated. We'll discuss those matters later. In fact, might have some explaining to do. Doesn't matter. We're here. Just the boys this week, huh?
Yeah,
Just the boys.
These are the best episodes. I come out of these almost in a euphoric state.
Yeah.
Where you can compare it to like a monk after.
There's nothing like just chopping it up about sports with your boys.
And then once it's over,
Yeah.
we just go our separate ways. It's not even like good job or anything. It's like, all right, see ya.
I will talk to you again next Tuesday when we record this show.
No, it's a good relationship.
We don't have to do all that woman crap, that girl crap, none
like,
of that
are you
touchy-feely
feeling
stuff.
okay? No, we don't have to do that.
But
Thank God.
One quick surprise for the listener or the watcher.
Katie is in a meeting.
Katie is in a meeting, not here. So it is just...
And Noah's here.
Noah's here, me, you, and the returning Casey Smith.
Oh.
Hi.
boys.
Hi. It is...
Chopping it up with the boys.
The mother is here. Hello.
That's so
You're
weird.
glowing.
I don't think. Do I still glow after?
Oh, do you not glow when you... I think you glow when you have a kid.
I didn't know if that was just a pregnant thing.
Oh, you're not glowing.
Thank you.
You look beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that.
Are you happy to see us?
I actually am very happy to see all three of you. Mostly Noah, because he's the nicest one.
That's fair.
About that sponsorship thing.
Yeah, so I do know the story.
Some things happened while you were gone.
But I saw Dak Prescott likes the tequila.
Well, it's complicated. Everybody's but we're working on it.
Okay.
There could have been a worse thing that happened on a live stream.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Correct. Yeah.
And it actually did happen. Something that was
Pretty
much
recently.
Much worse. Yeah.
I will say that in my maternity leave, which is still technically going, by the way, but I missed you guys so much. I decided to come back in a little early just for this podcast, not for anything else. I kept up to date of all the gossip online.
Sure.
I got more text messages about said live stream than I have anything that's happened in the 2.5 months I've been gone.
Yeah, that'll happen.
It's, you know,
certain words.
But then the next one was about you and our old title sponsor. But
well,
not
you
to
never
bring
know.
up old shit.
You never know.
Not to bring up old shit.
Well, it's complicated. Relationships are complicated. Things
is very
happen
true.
along the way, but there's never, no relationship is ever too far gone to get back together.
Or too like, what's the point of it being smooth? You don't grow.
No, you don't
smooth
grow. You don't grow
times.
through easy times.
if you don't fight, you don't love each other,
Correct,
right? Because
yeah.
if you don't have the emotion towards each other to disagree, then
and
what's the
nothing
point?
better than that making up either. So that making up's going to be fun.
Yeah, you looking forward to that making up?
I would prefer it. Yeah.
Yeah, me
That
too.
would be nice.
Me too.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be
How
back.
old is your son now?
2.5 months.
2.5 months.
I know you've been saying he's old enough to vote, but he's
Well,
only
he's
three.
voting.
No, beyond voting.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he now?
Oh, I got him in the workforce now. I had him in the
He
workforce.
was our producer last week.
He produced the
Oh, he
show
was.
last week. Yeah, we helped him get hired over there at ESPN or Fox or one of those. I don't know.
I don't think they would hire my son at ESPN.
Well, you never know.
No, times are changing.
Yeah, it's getting crazy
I don't think they
out
like
there.
me over there enough to do such a thing. But
Well,
no, he's still only 2.5 months.
I showed my wife was driving me to the train station this morning. And she said, I said, Casey's going to be on the show. And she said, well, make sure she sends you more pictures. I said, well, she sent me a picture yesterday, and I showed it to her. And she's just, oh, what a handsome, what did she say? She said, what a beautiful boy.
That's what everybody.
Beautiful
they're beautiful
boy. Yeah.
The eyes.
No. What? That baby is perfect, is what she said.
Oh.
Yeah, that baby is perfect, and she just wants to hold him.
She can hold him anytime she wants.
Yeah. So you have a perfect little baby boy.
Thank you. He is very.
He is a
very
handsome
cute.
little devil.
He is. He's already got a little bit of an attitude.
Is he starting to be more of a baby and less of a really tiny baby? Is he starting to smile, starting to laugh?
Yes, he's starting to smile and laugh. Knock on wood. He's not a big cry guy. He only
Really?
cries when he's really hungry.
Yeah.
But I went to lunch with my agent today, and he slept for the full 2 hours we were at lunch. And my agent was like, "Is he always this way?" Like, yeah, which means he's gonna be a horrible toddler.
Yeah, I guess
By the way,
so.
everybody listening to this is like, we don't give a shit about this.
No,
so.
they do. They
Wait,
do.
why would that make him a horrible toddler?
Well, it's one of those Instagram things I've noticed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just people wanting to make content, as we all do. But it's like if you have a really quiet, easy newborn / infant, they make up for it in the toddler
The
years.
terrible twos are going to be
okay.
something.
So he, both me and his dad are very loud, crazy asshole type people,
Yeah, correct.
which makes me feel like he will eventually be that way. He's not gotten there yet, though. He's very chill,
Okay.
very chill.
Not many chill babies in this world.
Well, no, I mean chill for a baby.
All right. So it hasn't started. No, you're still about 2 or 3 months away from crawling and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what you're supposed to do. Like, did you know that with your first kid? Like, where you're like, okay, this is when this milestone's supposed to happen? 'Cause I don't know shit.
No.
And I'm not just saying that. Like, I have to have our pediatrician tell me what's supposed to
You
happen.
just kind of
that
learn
month.
as it goes.
Yeah.
And it's never, you don't teach them how to crawl. They'll just be laying down one day and they'll just take off. So it's not like anything you got to do.
It's not complicated. It's just really hard. Like, it's not complicated.
That is accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, they're hungry, tired, or
You got to
they're
feed them,
sugared.
change them, and make them sleep, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're either like mad
Yeah.
because they're
It's like watering a plant. The plant's gonna grow. Not really anything you can do to stop it.
Except you can leave the plant, can't leave the kid.
Well, you can.
Well, with somebody else.
I wouldn't, but well, you said he's just back at the apartment by himself right
Oh
now.
no,
right?
Ebony has him right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
No, he is at home, safe and sound with his dad.
Have you enjoyed your few months off?
It's not off, Brandon. You men out there, you think maternity leave is just vacation. Jack, tell him it's not vacation.
Jack is your guy.
I feel like Jack is good about maternity leave stuff.
Well, 100%. I think the maternity leave,
La-
the mother part is the most important.
the last show we did, he was like maternity leave should be 3 days.
No, I think the last show I did was I was talking paternity leave should be like. Hey, do you know our paternity leave? What we can do
Here?
here?
No, what is it?
It's insane. You can do the same amount as maternal, and you can like split it up. So you could do 4 weeks here, 4 weeks there, 4 weeks another time.
I'm sorry, you guys get as much as women
I
here?
think it's
I've
the
already
same
had
here.
all my kids. So
No, I know, but like the paternity leave
I
is the
think
same
so,
as
yeah.
maternity leave. I mean, I guess good for them, but
you'd have been better off being a man.
that is absolutely 100% true.
But the mother aspect in the first however many months is the most important.
Thank you, Jack.
The father should be holding and whatnot. to
Yes, absolutely.
establish.
Right.
But
you know,
just touching the child's the most important part, right?
skin to skin,
Yeah, it's very important.
got a bond. I'm sure you did all of that. I will say that if, one day if I go to heaven, which I believe I will, my first question is why can't men breastfeed? Why can't it be a 2-person job? It's bullshit. Why can
You're
only
breastfeeding?
one? Yes.
Okay, good. You're not giving the fake shit. That's not to anybody.
I'm about to say, Jack, you shouldn't have said that. I didn't know where. I didn't know what.
Anybody. That was not supposed to be a shot at anybody. It's just.
What did we
know.
make it 4 minutes before we talk breastfeeding?
Well, I
I
didn't.
thought we'd at least go 10.
Well, I didn't know where his follow-up question was going to be, which is why I very cautiously said yes. But now every single person that's listening that is formula feeding, which you can do, obviously, is going to be mad at Jack.
But you've been doing some content for us on the Unnecessary Roughness page, right?
I have.
You've been doing some of the lists. Whenever we put out a list, you put out your own.
Yeah, and Noah will text whenever he can hear my son in the background cooing and babbling, which
There was one video you could hear the guy, the baby, but
Katie-
it wasn't crying. It was more so like
being a
ooh,
baby.
ah, ooh,
Yeah.
ah, yeah.
Yeah, Katie came over one time because she has play dates with my son sometimes. And I was trying to record one of those while bouncing him and his bouncer with my foot. And I was like, this is when you know
Yeah.
you're a mom. For our draft coverage, I had my Bose headphones on from like the draft in 2020,
Sure.
listening to the Zoom while my phone was playing his lullaby and I was feeding him to sleep. I was like, this is when you know.
Yeah.
It's for real.
Well,
but I'm back.
You
so
are back.
I am back.
And you are going to, I know your maternity leave is over, but you will come do this show every week, right?
Yes.
So you're back on this show.
I am back on this show.
Good. Good. And until your actual maternity leave is up, you'll just be doing this show until like June something.
Yes.
I'm actually leaving soon.
That's another reason I came back. That's true.
Yeah.
In the back of my head, I was like, well, we don't have very many
It's true.
in-person podcasts left until football season.
Yeah, and
so
people don't know that outside this podcast, you and I don't talk.
we don't speak. Yeah.
And I haven't seen you. I haven't talked to you in 6 months now, 5 months,
Well, I've only been gone for 2.5.
2.5 months. I haven't talked to you for 2.5 months, so
That's just
You
not.
guys haven't?
Yes, we
No.
have. He's lying.
we don't talk. I just said she sent me a text of the baby yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Jack, sometimes nothing. You want to talk college football?
I would love to.
You've
talk
been plugged into
football.
college football.
I have. I've
You'll
disagreed.
notice you'll notice the podcast go a lot quicker now without all the advertisements.
We have.
So
two
I did
adver-
streamline the podcast.
We have 2 advertisements today.
Oh, good. I did streamline the podcast from that point of view. It's probably a much easier listen now.
I'm shocked that we didn't start doing layoffs on the podcast because.
Well, I don't
We
think we
almost-
got that far from it.
We were very close. It was
It was touch and go
their
there for a
maternity
minute.
leave was about to turn into just
Yeah.
a leave.
I also tried to quit a couple times.
I do know that, and I speaking of not speaking, I texted you to say, did you actually try to quit? And you said yes, and I realized that it wasn't just bullshit on the internet for like
no,
a yak.
no, I tried to.
That happened.
I'm glad you didn't, by the way.
Well, I'm 50-50 on it. So
It'll be another month before you try again.
once we get to the summer,
Things
I'll
are
be
good
for,
right
I'll be
now.
good for a couple
Yeah.
of months. Yeah.
Things are good right now.
Where's Katie?
She said something came up, which probably means a meeting.
That asshole Gaz. The day we bring Casey back, scheduled a meeting for Katie. We're right in the fucking. He's such a
3:30.
dick.
She should be here in about 5 minutes.
Earthworm looking motherfucker.
Things sound great.
Yeah, things are good.
Yeah.
Things are good.
I'm back, so you're happy.
I am happy.
Although I will say the podcast has been doing very well.
Has it?
I haven't really listened to every single one, but I've listened to a few. I have a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time with just a baby.
Yeah.
You can only talk baby so much.
Have you gotten hooked on any like mom TV shows or anything?
Working Moms on Netflix.
Okay.
It's actually
I knew
very
it.
funny.
Sounds like some propaganda.
It is very funny, but it is absolutely a show that if you're not a mom, you probably wouldn't find as funny. Other than that, I've been watching, Succession and
Well, yeah.
sports and
Yeah.
the normal stuff.
All right. Today's show, we're going to do the news, and we got several news items, I think. We got some Deion and Colorado stuff, some Alabama stuff, and then I've got a 2-minute drill at the end for you.
And I have a disagreement that I want to hash out on air with you, too.
A disagreement that you want to hash out on air with us? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, and I think we've probably had this
We
disagreement.
can lead off with that if you'd like.
I did this on one of my social videos for Unnecessary Roughness because I
Right.
know it goes against what you two think.
Okay.
And I really I want to pick your brain.
Before you go off on that, since you've been gone, we pissed off
Hi,
Kansas
Katie.
State.
I saw that.
Oklahoma.
Pissed off Oklahoma bad
Well, I
again.
mean, that's-
we've been into it with Alabama a little bit, or at least I
Yes.
have.
That has part of my disagreement in it.
Yeah,
Georgia, nothing.
I ran a sponsor off. Yeah.
You did do that. Hi,
Um,
Katie.
Hello, welcome back.
who are some
What
others
was so
that we
tall?
got into it with?
We got into it with Texas fans when Texas fans were like, "Oh, we don't like Casey Smith," and me and Jack both stood up and said, "Yeah, we love Casey Smith. Don't come at our girl like that." Well, that happened.
I have a feeling you probably talked a little shit about Arch Manning.
No, we just said we actually kind of defended him.
Backhanded a bit.
Hello, Katie.
Hi.
Where you been?
Meetings.
Okay.
I said she'd be back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes ago.
He was talking shit about Gaz.
No, I was not.
No, Brandon.
Brandon was.
Called him a
And
fag.
always-
Brandon's a grown man. He can do what he wants. It's
That's
just,
true. That's correct.
Are people gonna back him when he does it?
Oh.
Oh my God.
He coming out swinging.
Hi.
What if I don't need people to back me when I do these things?
Who runs your TikTok? Who runs your Instagram?
Damn.
Yeah, and you let my son hijack my TikTok.
Remember when I gave
It's
you
back
shit?
to Brandon Walker though. I
Brandon
noticed
F.
that.
Walker. I changed it back. I had it on my calendar. And then when I berated you for allowing to do it twice, I got shit.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
what was it
TikTok's
before?
TikTok's easy. Even
His
His
son
son
got
took
it.
over.
And it was
Yeah,
Tommy?
even Jack.
so
back into
what
it.
so what happened was I got a new phone and I gave Tommy and the others my old phone so that just so I could play games and stuff. And TikTok is on there, and apparently that you can still sign into everything. He changed my TikTok to Thomas F. Walker, put his picture on it, and the
Incredible.
profile was Barstool's Tommy Walker.
And for those of you that don't know
Incredible.
TikTok, you can only change your @ username every 30 days.
And
So
profile
it's
picture, right?
yeah, your name every 7 days, but then like
But we
how
got it
people
back
find
flipped,
you.
right?
Yeah. So he can't do anything for 30 days.
Okay.
But when 31 days hits, if he does something, I'm going to laugh.
the man's a superstar.
All right, Katie. Which one's on the far left?
Oh, that's
Katie.
Catherine's statistics.
Katie, when Casey was telling us she had a disagreement while she was gone, so we're leading off the show with that. Go ahead.
Katie?
No, Katie, I'm telling you what we're about to do.
Oh.
Casey,
Do you see the transfer portal news?
What?
what?
Yeah, what happened?
Who just entered?
Who just entered?
What I just texted you, has that been said?
My phone's my phone.
I haven't looked at my phone.
Who entered?
It's not too big, but TJ Finley from Auburn.
Oh, that guy is just they might as well call the transfer portal the TJ.
Is he 35?
Remember he had those couple of good games at LSU, and then he went to Auburn, but he sucked mostly at LSU, and we're like, why is? Yeah, he stinks.
But he's one of those names, which I think we say a
But
lot
the
on this podcast because we talk a lot. But he's been talked about for a long time.
Oh, he's been talked about for a long time, but he was in that post Joe Burrow wave of hopefuls at LSU, but then he just wasn't very good. But he is going to be one of these quarterbacks, and there's going to be a lot of them, of transfer victims every year, where he goes somewhere, somebody beats him, he transfers. Goes somewhere, somebody beats him, he transfers. Think of, I guess JT Daniels is that guy now.
Is he still in West Virginia?
Didn't he go to Rice?
He went to Rice, you're
Yeah.
right.
JT Daniels is just
It's
going
fall from, not to talk shit about Rice, but it's kind of a fall. from
USC,
grace.
Georgia, West Virginia,
It's
Rice.
Rice.
Yeah, I don't think that's that
It's a baseball school.
that career path portends greatness, but
No.
whatever. What was your disagreement?
Do you really not think Nick Saban is the best football coach going into 2023?
I definitely don't. There are two different answers.
Truth serum, not hating on Alabama Brandon Walker. You think Kirby Smart is a better football coach than Nick Saban?
I'd like to ask you why I wouldn't think that. I'll just say it. Forget the name Nick Saban and Kirby Smart.
Correct.
If we're just talking about going into 2023, we're not really worried about what happened in 2012 or 2014, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not worried about that, if we're just talking about 2023, why wouldn't I pick the guy who's 24-1 or 23-1 his last? Actually, 24-0 in his last two regular seasons. Why wouldn't I pick the guy who's won 2 straight national titles? Why wouldn't I pick the guy who won a national title against Nick Saban, came back, ran it back, won 15-0 with a team that was kind of a lot different than the other one? Why wouldn't I pick that guy?
But my question is, do you think he is a better coach?
I think in 2023, I would rather have Kirby Smart as my football coach than Nick Saban.
The reason I disagree with that is because we have seen throughout the years since 2007 when Nick Saban got to Alabama, years where he's not won the national championship,
Correct.
right? And years where everyone says, oh, he's going to be down. It's going to rebuild. Now, what we've not seen is an assistant have the success against him that Kirby Smart has.
Yeah.
However, I feel like when Clemson was winning, we weren't saying Dabo's a better coach than Nick Saban. We didn't jump to that conclusion. Because Kirby Smart is, back-to-back, I'll give you that, and obviously an incredible guy, incredible coach, he's not a better coach than Nick Saban yet.
But that is very key, though, because Dabo won in 16, and then Saban won in 17.
Right.
And then Dabo won again at 18. And then Burrow won, then Saban won again. So nobody's put back-to-back in Saban's face like Kirby Smart just has.
And I think when you think about Saban, you are right. They had those seasons where they were down, and people were like, oh, but you didn't think they were going to do very well. But last year, everyone picked them to win the national title, including me, and he did not win it. He just had the number 1 and number 3 pick in the NFL draft. One was a Heisman. One was arguably the closest we've seen a defensive player to a Heisman on the other
Correct.
one, and he did not make the playoff.
No, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying that he has lived up to his success the last few seasons. But, and I know this is a tired comparison, and every time people say, you're like, yeah, run it back again. But it feels like to me a lot of times with Bill Belichick, and I know it's different because he had Tom Brady all those years, but the years that Bill Belichick wasn't winning a Super Bowl, and whoever won a Super Bowl, it wasn't like, okay, well, they're going to out-coach Bill Belichick. He's still Bill Belichick. To me, it's like, yes, Georgia won back-to-back. Georgia is the favorite this year. Kirby Smart is fucking phenomenal. He's still not Nick Saban yet. He's not there yet
But
where I think he's a better coach.
That's the issue. I think he is. I
think he's a better X's and O's guy?
No, I don't think that's what coaching is, though.
Well, it's definitely not, but I don't think he's a better recruiter either.
I think he's his equal as a recruiter, at least, and nobody's ever been his equal as a recruiter. But what has happened is Nick Saban kind of set the model. Nick Saban kind of set the blueprint of what an SEC national champion year in, year out is going to look like. They're going to continue to get top 5 classes and continue to build and be strong at the right positions and never drop off. And nobody's ever been able to replicate that. Ed Orgeron won a national title, couldn't do it again. Nobody else has been able to do that. Kirby has built an exact replica of Alabama, and right now his replica is a little taller than the original right now. And I'm not saying in their careers is Kirby Smart a better career coach. I'm not saying in 10 years we might look back and say Kirby Smart was better. I'm saying in 2023, heading onto the football field, give me the guy who won the last 2 national titles. Give me the guy who has just freshly built this. He's also 47 years old. Nick Saban is 71. Nick Saban is coming off, you can't call it the worst year of his career, but it's not. But it is one of his rare misses.
That's why I almost go the opposite way. I don't almost. I do.
You don't think he'll miss again.
I don't. I don't.
But he did just miss.
He did just miss, and he obviously lost in the national championship the year before to Kirby. However, I don't think that Nick Saban is one of those guys that we're going to see where he misses and then misses again, and then he retires at a, quote, low point of his career. To me, and last time I said this, I think it was one of the last podcasts I was on before my leave, I said, Nick Saban is an underdog going into this year, which is crazy, but it's true.
Right.
He's not favored to win his own conference. He's not favored to win the national title. Nick Saban has not been in that place very often, especially, in the bulk of his career.
He's probably not going to be favored to win his division.
Nick Saban as an underdog should be fucking terrifying.
It is.
It's Alabama.
It is, but how can I say a coach who is the underdog coming into the season is the best coach in the country?
Because I think he's the best coach in college football history, and he's still coaching.
He is that.
He's still there.
He is that, but
Well, LeBron's not the best player in the NBA right now. But
I was going to use a different example. I was going to say, in his last few years,
Brady.
Brady wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL. He was very, very good, but he wasn't the best quarterback. Mahomes had passed him.
But don't you think there's a difference? I mean, obviously it's a difference, but between athletic ability versus coaching
I actually
ability?
think that's a great example, and I'll answer that question in a minute. But going into 2023, if Brady hadn't retired, you would say, who would I want a quarterback? You'd want Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback right now, even though Brady's the best quarterback of all time.
But the difference I don't think Nick Saban, because he's older, is a worse coach.
Well,
whereas Tom Brady was getting old.
No, but I think the signs last year are troubling, and if you look on paper, this Alabama team is not nearly as strong as most Alabama teams are on paper. It's May, and they're still building this roster.
Neither are the coordinators. The coordinators, in the first time for a while, we would usually be linking them to that's the next guy up. I mean, obviously, look at Kirby. We've seen many guys like that. But right now, we're looking at it like Tommy Rees, Kevin Steele. It's like, ugh.
I think Katie sent that in the group text, how weird it looks to see Tommy Rees in an Alabama
he looks too young to be an Alabama coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the coordinators that went through Alabama. They've all done pretty well. There have been the Pruitts, there have been and whatnot.
I don't think your mindset is incorrect at all. I think it's
he's the GOAT.
It's 50-50, right? Like it's what do you want? But
By the way, I would take Kirby Smart in a heartbeat.
The idea of anybody ever being put over Nick Saban being shocking speaks to how dominant and great Saban has been.
That's where it's like because everything you're saying and you guys said in the argument before when I listened to it is very rational and logical and makes sense.
But if you just took a snapshot of where Kirby has that program right now, it's Nick Saban's peak at Alabama. That's where Kirby is with Georgia right now.
And this is also where I will find myself at the end of this upcoming season if Georgia wins the national title, which would obviously not be crazy. I'll be like, okay, now 3 times, that's when you can say he's finally taken over. I can't live in a world that I think going into this upcoming season that I wouldn't take Nick Saban as my first overall draft pick per se as a coach because of what he's shown since he's been at Alabama.
Yeah, no, he's
had
right.
If he would have won, say he won, 6-7 championships like within like a 10-year period.
Yeah.
Then it would be like, okay, so 2017 he's done, he's fallen off a cliff, he's still trying to grope for those years, those national championships. He's not. It's only been a few years. It's been 2.
We'll see.
3.
But to me, it's less about Saban and more about Kirby Smart and the space he occupies now.
And maybe that's where a little bit of my bias comes in because
it's hard to let go of those early years of the podcast where we got to laugh at Kirby Smart, huh?
And I just can't laugh at Nick Saban. I know you can. I know you hate Alabama.
I
just
can
can't
laugh at Nick Saban. I can laugh at anybody.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't do it.
I'm thinking about Nick Saban. Yeah, no, it's funny. We're looking and we've talked about this. There's so many storylines heading into this season.
Right.
And it's fascinating because they're not massive names yet. I mean, we have some big names. Caleb Williams, obviously a returning Heisman guy. But when you look at it's not massive appeal as Arch Manning would be, but the storylines of new quarterbacks in these big teams, the Saban versus Kirby, what's going on out west. I mean, we're in the biggest change in college football history from the perspective of obviously transfer portal is a little bit older, but we're about to see Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC. Obviously not this year, but
I'm glad you said that because my subject today was kind of building up the hype train of programs that go into this year with bigger expectations than they've had in years past.
Okay.
That's what we're going to talk about in a little bit. But we got to talk about news first. But anyway, the hype train is going to be programs with bigger than normal expectations, and they have to prove it this year.
There are a lot of those too. That's a really great point.
Using, for example, I think Florida State comes in with their biggest expectations in years.
Penn State,
This
Notre
year,
Dame?
USC.
Well, I guess Notre Dame always has high expectations.
I'd give $100 if y'all just stopped saying team, so we could do it later.
That is a
Oh.
no. You right.
It's the first time he said
that was a.
We were
I say you're right all the time.
Were we just naming off your list?
But you know what else I'm right about?
Oh, tell us.
I like delicious food. I bet since
Oh,
you've
you
been
didn't lose
gone.
all of our sponsorships.
Oh,
no, not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay, thank God.
Since you've been gone, I'm sure you had some delicious food, right?
A lot of people have sent very nice meals.
I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so
Wait, no.
Monetized. Nope,
You
nope.
did it. He did it.
No, I know.
You can't start singing that song and expect us not to sing.
Everybody
along.
has to sing that song.
We just had a big meeting about monetization.
Don't get demonetized. Do you know for
Please,
every
Brandon.
case race, when you guys sing Piano Man, you get demonetized?
I don't sing Piano Man.
But
You
you do
as in
get us
collective.
demonetized.
In a manner of speaking, I have demonetized the hell out of this podcast.
I would say so, yes.
I was-
But I'll talk about something that can monetize us.
oh my goodness, monetize, freshitize,
Help your
it does
wallet.
everything for you. Delicious food is where it's at.
Can I guess what it is?
I think we already know, but go ahead.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, the #1 meal service kit in this country, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients with seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. That means if you're at home and you've got a bouncing baby boy, you don't have to go fight the line at the grocery store. You don't have to go out and get a reservation or wait 2 hours in line to go eat something. No, you get it sent there. It's a box. You open it up. Pre-packaged, pre-portioned ingredients that are fresh and are delicious with a meal card right there. It says how to make this.
Yes.
And in 30 minutes, you have a delicious quality meal.
The sentence I never thought I would say, and that parents that are listening to this will understand, I know you do too. Grocery shopping with a stroller is hell on earth.
It is not fun.
Especially in New York, I
It is
assume.
hell
And he's not
on
old
earth.
enough yet to sit him in the cart.
It is
So-
not fun. So HelloFresh has been delivering food to our door, and I don't have to put him in the stroller and go to a grocery store. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Flavors in full bloom at HelloFresh. Enjoy the taste of spring with chef-crafted recipes featuring ripe seasonal ingredients delivered directly to your door, like she just said. When the spring sunshine is calling your name, we hadn't got there yet. I think next week we finally get the good weather.
We need like 2-3 weeks consistent.
No,
before we can
I
call
think
it.
we're about to get there.
I think next week
I
is
looked
it.
at.
Next week looks great.
I think next week 70s all week.
Yeah.
Hot take. I like this weather so much more right
The
now.
rain.
No.
The cold.
Oh.
No. You've just been in your apartment too long.
No, I just don't want to wear summer clothes.
Don't call for
I
takeout.
see.
Get HelloFresh instead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to have Jack maybe mention the working out thing since he did it the last
No,
podcast I
no.
was here, but
Their quick and easy meals make feeding the family ascension without the high price tag. Their new fast and fresh options are ready in just 15 minutes or less. Here's what I want you to do. Go to HelloFresh.com/Walker16 for 16 free
Walker16.
meals plus free shipping. Once again, from fit and wholesome to pescatarian to veggie, they have a meal plan that suits your lifestyle. You can swap out proteins and sides to your liking. Go to HelloFresh.com/Walker16. Use code Walker16 for 16 free meals plus shipping.
and if you have a million children like you and your wife do,
Yep.
they'll send you a million portion sizes.
By the way, how much more respect for me do you have since these last 2.5 months?
I mean, I love you. You know this.
Yeah.
I respect you finally.
Finally. Yes.
I've always respected you, but this as a human being,
Yeah.
I respect you. I know we exchanged a conversation where I made you lie to me about things getting easier.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you have four
Oh, the
of
thing
these
about
things.
and I'll just do it right now. I'll laugh for you. The thing about parenting is once you get through the first 2 or 3 months,
Yes.
it's all downhill from
Thank
there.
you.
It's
Thank
easy.
you.
Oh, yeah, different downhill.
The toddler years are easy. When they grow up is easy. They never break anything. They're just easy kids to raise.
This man next to me was. I said, I think it'll be much easier once we hit, like 6 months. And he was like, it won't. And I was like, can you just lie to me, please? He was like, sure, if that makes you feel better.
It's not easy if I was about to say not easy until they go off to college, but then you have a whole other set of worries.
No.
What reference point are you using right now?
By the way, I met Katie's
She
parents.
did this, I think, 2 episodes ago. She also had something like that.
Oh,
Where she
you
told
did.
you how to,
You told me
raise-
how to parent.
Yeah, yeah.
Changes your TikToks.
Oh.
It was that.
That was crazy.
I said put a lock on your phone.
All right. You met her parents?
I did. They are
Oh,
fantastic
and then
people.
Katie moved.
Oh, Katie moved?
Yeah.
To Connecticut?
Yes, not
She's
Chicago.
no longer a New York City person.
Technically, tonight's my last night, and then I move in.
Connecticut's a great state.
Yeah,
How
South
long's your
Norwalk.
commute?
An hour
Oh,
plus.
mine in
But
Chicago is going to be an hour 15 drive every day.
But you know Katie will be working on the train the whole time. She'll be fine.
Have I showed you my house?
You have.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Is that the golf simulator one?
No,
a
I
clip.
haven't showed you. I'll show you.
Yeah.
What really upset me was when I saw what your monthly mortgage is going to be.
Right.
Oh, you don't. New York. You know New York sucks. I found a penthouse in Stamford, Connecticut for like 24. That was like
Katie?
like 20 grand in New York
Penthouse?
City.
Have you seen
No,
his
it's
house?
the penthouse in Stamford, Connecticut's actually pretty nice.
Have you seen his house?
No.
Well, when he shows it to you, scroll through the photos first, then look at what the monthly mortgage is going to be, and then jump off a building, because that's what I almost did.
All right. So we got news items for college football. I think we start, and you want to do some draft stuff, right? You said let's talk about the draft.
Yes.
But let's start with, now I'm starting to think the people on Twitter are right. We talk about Alabama so much, but
Let's start with the transfer portal.
well, okay, that's Alabama because Tyler Buchner from Notre
I
Dame.
wasn't going to start with them. I was going to start with Michigan State.
Okay, let's start with Michigan State. So Saturday or Sunday, whenever the last day was, their starting quarterback.
The fans are
They're
making it
starting.
seem
They're
like it's-
returning starting quarterback.
That's a good way to say it.
Peyton Thorne said, "Peace out. I'm out of here." Receiver said, "Peace out. I'm out of
Keon
here."
Coleman, who plays both football and basketball. Not that it's a hit for the basketball. I'm just
All right, so you obviously have already
Then the
formulated an opinion.
cornerback-
All
Well,
right.
of course he has. It's
It's
Michigan State.
And he knows recruiting.
and then the cornerback
All
who saw Keon and Peyton leaving, put it on his story and said like, "Oh my God!" And then he decided to transfer 4 hours later. So he probably called them up. It's like, "What's going on?"
So
No,
there's
it
an
should-
exodus from Michigan State.
I mean, I think Peyton Thorne really disappointed last year, and he may have lost his starting job in
Yeah.
the spring. That's a possibility. Keon Coleman,
Who's coming in, or who's?
they just
Do they know who QB1
there was a
is?
freshman last year who was older. I forget his name. But the Keon Coleman and the cornerback that left, no, I mean it's not great. They've really had a tough. I mean, since if you compare what they were acting like this time last year to now, it's night and day. It's crazy. I mean, they were having like Tuck coming, NFTs coming out. They were having Tuck coming,
Right.
like Forbes articles.
I mean,
where
I would say-
Forbes.
You seem so torn up
on
about it.
24/7 Sports. They all came to his house to see how cool Mel Tucker was.
I would say they were the most aggressive program in the offseason last year.
Yeah, people thought they were the
And
program.
this was coming off a season where their rival Michigan went to the playoff.
But they beat him, so it was.
yeah,
That's it's
but
like, oh,
but
finally.
like there was significant momentum in their
Right.
own state, and they still did the Tuck Cumming thing.
I know they paid him a shitload of money. I don't know exactly what his contract looks like, but if they have a shitty season again, if they have a bad season, how hot is his hot seat? Because I understand that Peyton Thorne probably had lost his job. That's all fine and good. But I mean, the way that fell down last year, if they have a repeat season that was that bad, he's got to be in trouble, right?
Well, the way I look at it, Casey, is they were not very good last year, right?
Right.
I don't see room for them to be all that good this year because in your own division, you have 3 teams that have playoff aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's 3 losses off the rip right there. Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State are all top 10 teams coming into this season. So if I'm having a make or break season or for my coach and I identify I can't even finish top 3 in my division, that's disturbing.
What if they go 9-3?
9-3 is a great
9-3
season.
9-3 is a fantastic
Is
season.
it a fantastic season for what they've paid him though?
Yes.
Here?
I think it is.
Because you're alive in that Big Ten race, and being alive in the Big Ten race isn't being alive in the SEC, but it's damn close.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
Who's there? They have one interesting. You look them up. They have one interesting out of conference game, and I can't off my mind. Is it
it's Washington.
It is Washington.
But it's at East Lansing.
Okay, yeah, that's
That'll
right.
be a
Because they
tough
went out there
game.
last year, and Washington's a 10-2 team too.
That's a very interesting game. I'm excited to see this. My biggest thing about this, Mel Tucker, Michigan State, is this is a very interesting look at the building a program in the new era or building an identity in the new era. Because Michigan State obviously decided to go all in on the PR of Tuck Cumming, Mel Tucker.
Right.
And what happens when that fails? It
Right.
hasn't failed completely. Does that mean, because a lot of programs would have went all in on that coach after a great season, but is that the wrong way to do it?
I think it's deeper than what you just said. Not only the Tuck Cummins stuff, but prior to the Tuck Cummins stuff of last year, they opted to go all in on the transfer portal the first year. They were probably the first biggest team to go all in on the transfer portal. The year they got Kenneth Walker, they brought in like 22 guys, 23 guys. They went all in on the transfer portal, and the result was a big season. They went 10-2, I believe, and they beat Michigan.
I think 11-2 they finished because
That's right, they won the bowl game
the
against-
Peach Bowl.
But they went all in on the transfer portal. But when you go all in on the transfer portal, if you don't have the safety net of great development and everything and great recruiting, high school recruiting, you're susceptible to being up and down,
All
and down.
these guys were pure recruits that have left. Now, people leave programs all the time. If I was a Michigan State fan, that's why like people are like dunk on them, dunk on them, dunk on them. But also, big time players leave all the time. This is tough for Michigan State. It's because they built up this mythical character in Mel Tucker, not because of the contract, but because of, okay, I get it. You invest in your coach. That's fine. But how they built him up from a media perspective is like it's almost a good lesson to tell other media departments and athletic departments, hey, be careful.
Well, not only did they build him up, he built himself up, because it wasn't like he was letting the PR machine just kind of take over. Which, I mean, any coach.
I mean,
is
his
gonna have an
photos
ego.
of himself, like
just the aura around him, which is easy for us to make fun of because it's Michigan State, and I know you have beef with him, but he bought into that way further than a lot of guys would because his ego was that high. Which I can't say I know yours would be, mine would be too. I mean, come on.
How do you compare this to Will Levis on the media with his draft stock?
this is a little bit.
This was
different.
more driven by Michigan State's
That was a
machine.
direct PR. Like they like, I mean, there was those tweets last year. Like Michigan State tweeted about Mel Tucker 25 times in a month, and Michigan would tweet about Harbaugh 3 or 4, Alabama 4 or 5, Nick Saban, Georgia 4 or 5. But Michigan State decided behind the scenes, this is our guy. I mean,
And then he ran with it, which I can't
it's
blame him.
not a
but
failure
shit.
yet, because if he goes 9-3 this year, he's back.
But that was my original question: was what makes him a failure this year? Not making a bowl game again?
Yeah, if he doesn't make a bowl game, I think he's fired. Unless he somehow beats Michigan.
I
Unless
feel
he
like-
goes, even if he goes 6-6 and makes a shitty bowl.
I feel like I've already laid out. We've mentioned 4 of their games, and I think they're all 4 probable losses.
We've mentioned 4 definite losses, and
Right.
then they have like, are they even safe against the Rutgers? Who knows?
Yeah, like I mean, and I don't know who they have out of the West off the top of my head, but like the West is full of competitive football teams.
They have Central Michigan, Richmond, Washington, Maryland, Iowa,
Okay, that's not fun.
It's at Iowa.
at Iowa,
That's not easy. Yeah,
at Rutgers
that's not easy.
versus or home Michigan, at Minnesota, have Nebraska, at Ohio State, at Indiana versus Penn State.
This could go.
At Iowa and at
Horrible.
Wisconsin
South.
is not good at all.
That's a tough schedule.
It's a very tough schedule.
I say if he makes a bowl, he's safe.
I mean, Washington is a good team. Washington's a Pac-12 contender next year.
Oh no, I know.
and quietly too, because we're talking about other teams.
We've
but-
been talking Washington a lot.
you guys are on the Washington.
Well, we
train.
hype our own teams up. In fact, they're on the list of this team too. So
Michigan State, they're 7th in schedule, strength of schedule.
now,
Checks out.
it's almost impossible not to be though. If you play in that division and you're not Penn State, Ohio State, or Michigan,
that's
like
a
you
good
have
point.
to play all 3 of those.
That's Indiana's problem. They're in that division.
Yeah.
And it's like Indiana could have an Illinois run like once in a while, but they just happen to be in this
It's the
division.
same
with-
for
They're
it's
tense.
Rutgers,
with you
Maryland,
guys.
Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana. They could have a good team, and you don't really know it because
They go 8 and
I
4.
want the Big
Rutgers
Ten to
is
go
9.
to no division so badly.
Indiana's 10.
Yep.
Case in point.
I know Big Ten fans are split on that, but I think they should go no divisions
Is that this year or
immediately.
next?
Next year.
all right.
I mean,
Well, it's going to be weird next year. We'll see.
So draft stuff. You know, the draft was decently predictable from certain aspects and then unpredictable in certain aspects. I'm not going to take a victory lap for being right for a year and a half, 2 years
well,
on
I was
certain.
going to set you up for that. That was kind of part of my take, but
Oh, okay. Well, you can do that if you like, but I'm not going to take a victory
Okay.
lap over being right for
Well,
a year and a half, 2 years.
my first question was going to be, do you think there was anybody more correct about Will Levis in the country than Brandon Walker?
I mean, it's a fair question.
He's going to be fine. It's
do
part of the
you
story.
think-
I listen. That's accurate.
This
So
may actually benefit
let's do
him.
the real talk version
Yes,
first.
okay.
Okay. First of all, Will Levis got drafted at the top of the second round, which is a phenomenal accomplishment for a football player.
Oh, yeah.
It is a phenomenal and incredible accomplishment. He also goes to a team that needs a quarterback, and he does so with expectations that will be set the right way. If he were a top 5 pick and went to the Titans, you're putting him in week 1, week 2, week 3 and saying it's your franchise for the next 10 years, and that might not work out. The guy needs to develop. He is 6'4", 230, throws a rocket, but he needs to develop NFL skills at the NFL level. He needs to develop against NFL players because he didn't get that at Kentucky. He showed up at Kentucky 6'4", 230 and left 6'4", 230 with no discernible pro skills that were instilled upon him whatsoever. I don't know why. At some point, somebody in the draft process fell in love with him and hyped him to a level they should not have.
Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper, but this happened a year and a half, 2 years. I think
He was in the mock drafts
Yeah,
last year this time.
I think we've been going a year and a half ago.
Which
at this
is
point.
like a bigger question. But how do these guys get these certain? And it doesn't happen every year, but there's always somebody that slides. Not to the degree that Will Levis did, because the green room shot at the very end when every other table was dark is just a sad sight. How do they miss on these guys like this?
Well, first of all, you got to understand
To that degree.
To be fair to the guy, he didn't get passed on by 32 teams.
No.
He got passed on by 5 teams.
Well, and the Titans were trying to trade up into
And the Titans ended up getting him, right?
Right.
So he didn't get
After
passed on
11,
by
it was-
32 teams. He got passed on by 5 because only 5 came in there wanting and needing a quarterback.
And once at what was it 11 that the Titans didn't select him,
then it was,
he should have left.
There's nobody left for him to pick him.
He should have been like, you know what? I'm out of the green
Oh
room.
my
I'm not
God,
going
I'm
tonight.
looking at a 2024 mock draft.
Oh, God.
It's unbelievable.
So I know Caleb Williams is one. You know what? I want to do that whole thing in just a second. Will Levis was a victim of hype and everything, and it sucked. I will say Will Levis handled himself remarkably, I thought.
100%.
He did leave for the second round, but why wouldn't he?
He had a family. There was a family thing that he
Yeah.
did.
I would have left immediately after
Now,
11.
his
But
girlfriend was there. His sisters were there. I thought they did a great job too.
very funny that it was confusing once the blonde sister was traded out for the brunette girlfriend. Everyone
I
thought it
knew
was
right
too-
away, by the way.
You did?
We know
I
that
knew
you did.
all of them because I've known his girlfriend for a while.
Of course, Jack. I mean,
But
Jack's the girlfriend
they
whisperer.
both follow me on TikTok.
Jack's the girlfriend
Hold
whisperer.
on. Time
We're
out.
friends.
Can I say I want to do that mock draft? Don't let me get out of this without doing it.
Gia Duddy's
But
name.
listen,
Oh,
and I don't care where she's from because this is a take about something else. Have y'all seen that motherfucking mushroom Jeff Nadeau and what he said that night?
Oh, that
No.
was crazy.
That
yes,
piece
yes.
of shit.
did he
that
say?
fucking fire hydrant of a human being. He said he took a picture of Will Levis' girlfriend, quote tweeted and said, "I know he didn't find her in Kentucky. You piece of shit. You would shit your pants if you went down south and saw the women."
I did see that, and I
I
almost thought
responded
he
right
was
away.
joking because
He
it's
wasn't-
it's a well-known thing that women in the South always are better looking than the
Also,
men that they're
yeah.
with.
University of Kentucky, it's a state school. Every state school in America has incredibly good-looking women. He did meet that girl at Penn State,
Yeah.
but there's incredibly good-looking women that, like Jamal Murray's girlfriend.
When we went to Mississippi in 2020
Yeah.
and Rudy came with us, Rudy said,
Yep.
he was like, I know that women in the South are known to be beautiful and Southern belles. He was like, there is nothing more humbling than seeing one of the hottest girls you've ever seen next to their piece of shit looking boyfriend. He was like, it is unbelievable how ugly the dudes are in comparison to the women.
That is accurate.
It is. I mean, your wife.
That's the
I mean,
South.
You outkicked your coverage more than.
Yeah.
Oh, I kicked 2 or 3 football fields.
It's true.
I had a hell of a leg on me.
Yes.
Um,
You did. But
I don't think so. I think you have a pretty good, not to say you would get divorced or anything, but like you would be a top tier. You have money, you have charisma, you're
6'6",
tall,
6'6".
Yeah.
you're tall. I mean, obviously
Yeah, but-
we could like trade the Chick-fil-A for the salads, and then if you were single,
No, he's right. He's right.
Right.
but you
here-
would be,
here's-
and I
but-
think you're a fine-looking human
But,
being.
but here's the thing, though. Hypothetically,
But
if
his
this was to
wife
happen,
is very,
But his wife would have a much easier time in the market.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
but
I mean,
wouldn't.
women do anyway.
Well, that's true, but
Yeah.
That is true.
All right.
Anyways, Jeff Nadeau, I thought it was so absurd because you're right. I did see that. I forgot that he said it. I thought it was almost tongue in cheek, but I guess it wasn't.
Also, it's warmer weather. You're going to actually know what the girls look like.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want it to be warmer.
Back to the NFL draft.
Go to Alaska.
Back to the NFL draft. Now, everything that kind of dinged Will Levis, when I look at Will Levis, I say, here's a guy that has it all, has all the tools, looks like $1 million, but just didn't have the production and didn't play very well, and something didn't translate. But at the same time, if that's the reason he slides, we still watched Anthony Richardson get picked 4th to the Colts.
Why?
Well, his athleticism is, if you think Will Levis is athletic, Anthony Richardson is a different level. Like, he broke every record, and I get it. Katie had a good tweet, too, that went viral like 2 months ago, and then she bumped it during the draft, which was good. Like, wait until you see the game tape, which is true. Like, there was times we would watch Anthony Richardson and be like, this guy can't play football.
For every one, like, fantastic Heisman-type play, I feel like there's 3 of just, like, what are you doing?
So the reason the reasoning I came to was Will Levis in his 2 years at Kentucky, all of his SEC games are about at this level, right? And he had 16 SEC games. He threw for more than 250 once. He just never really rose above that level, but he never really sank.
There weren't peaks and valleys.
Anthony Richardson, I mean, he beat Utah at home with a tremendous performance. He played great against Tennessee on the road. He would have games where he was god-awful, like against Florida State, like against Kentucky. But there was up and down, and that's just an underdeveloped quarterback. The fact that he showed you those peaks, I think that's what the Colts looked at, and you couldn't look at those peaks and say, wow, I need some of that. So I get it, but I would have thought they would go closer together.
Anthony Richardson is 2 years younger than Will, which is a big deal because those next 2 years are like, I mean, it just goes back to why these seniors in college basketball sometimes they don't get drafted because they're 22. When you're 18, like you still have a long way to go in terms of just athletic development.
Was it Florida's actual Twitter account that did the?
No, it looked like it. It was
Anthony
just
Richardson
like a blog.
versus Stetson Bennett.
It was just a blog account.
Oh,
I thought that was funny.
It did look legit.
Georgia fans were pissed. That's why the way that Anthony Richardson went versus Will Levis, which again you were 100% right on, and I know that moving forward and down the line we'll probably say it's going to be fine.
Not that big of a deal that I was right for 2 years.
You were very right. Kentucky fans told you were a fucking crazy.
We can't
person.
say yet.
No, but for what we've seen so far, he is right.
Fair, yeah.
Because he was like, why he's not going to be a top draft pick, which again, I feel like they should let them leave at a certain point. But when we talk about the draft every year and we're like, what are these guys seeing? It's so unpredictable because it's like Anthony Richardson. We watched every single college football game. You wouldn't have picked him 4th, right? I mean, you wouldn't have. If you were in that war room,
no.
you wouldn't have. But then the opposite happens with Will Levis where people are saying he's going to be a lottery pick and then he's not. And it's just like...
I also think he was close. I bet Will Levis went into Thursday night thinking he was going to get picked. And
I bet, reason. I mean, a lot of people thought he was.
I bet teams told him.
Yeah.
And then agents told him. And for whatever reason, I mean, things change on that night all the time. And he was the first pick in the second round.
All right.
One thing, did you watch the interview with C.J. Stroud pre our NFL draft show?
It was done by Will Compton.
Yes.
It was a terrific interview, done very well.
There's a certain line about him talking about Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
He called it a childish game.
Did we ever put that clip out?
The clip, I've been looking for the clip, but the whole thing's out now.
He called it a childish game?
What did
he never
say?
beat them.
Like the fans are childish?
Like, so Will asked him, it's like, what are your thoughts? Like, first class. He incorrectly was like, first class in 20 years, not beating them, but CJ's response was, it's a childish game. I'm on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, you can't lead in with the negative, but...
That's kind of like shutting the door behind you as you leave or starting a fire and then leaving.
He's the first starting quarterback for Ohio State that hasn't beat Michigan since when, man? 2005.
Yeah, a long time.
A long time. Like, and he's one of the best, but I mean, he never beat.
I only got 2 shots at him. You only got 2 shots at him,
and
right?
it was Michigan's
That's a lot if
best
you think about
years.
it.
I guess in a bigger picture, what he's saying is, college, childish behind me, but you can't say that about Ohio State, Michigan.
Well, I think you can as long as you're not still playing there. Like it's another. He started a fire and then he left.
Yeah.
Like he said, and he made Michigan fans mad. And now he doesn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think Ohio State fans liked that?
They probably don't care.
They're going to back their guy regardless.
Yeah.
Gotta ask Ev.
All right. Give me that mock draft for 2024 quickly. Let's just go through it. Caleb Williams, number 1, got to be.
This is from Dane Brugler.
Dane Brugler, yes.
Brugler at the Athletic. So this is not like
Legit guy.
Yeah, this is not some kid at home doing a mock draft.
Stephen Shea.
While you were gone, Peter Burns said hello.
I talked to him, yeah.
Danny Cannell said hello.
Josh Pate said hello.
Josh Pate said hello?
I think so.
Oh, good.
Did
I don't think
I
he
don't know.
did.
I've never met him before.
I don't think he
he did.
He's a very, very, very nice guy. From what I see on Twitter.
Have you taken him up on the home run derby
Did you see the-
softball?
Oh,
thing?
he's a pussy.
Did you see the clip
Yeah.
Which one?
from over the weekend?
He popped that ball up.
Of that? Of the softball?
There was a softball one from over the weekend.
Yeah.
What was the Danny Cannell? We're fighting Danny Cannell's? Was it?
Oh
Danny
no, he was just asking like, could we fight other
Like a
college
street
football
fight.
podcasts?
Yeah.
And who am I
Oh,
fighting?
we're gonna fight them.
What's his name? The guy that goes on Fornelli. You would fight.
You got
Fornelli.
Fornelli, yeah.
I think Katie and I were texting about this. Like, I mean, you have the size, right?
Yeah.
I think Katie and I would do some damage for our podcast.
Well,
No,
no, we
Casey
believe in
actually
you.
does boxing, so.
Yeah, no,
We
I
believe
think
in
I
you.
think we'd be fine.
And I have mom strength now. That's a thing.
So I'm taking out. I forgot who I was taking out. Whether it's Bud or Danny, I'm taking out one
I
of
think
them.
you
We
get
would win.
Danny. I got Bud.
Yeah, and then he's thick. We're good.
Yeah, we would win.
We're good.
I know
Wait,
we've got
we're
we've got the
shooting
female
takedowns?
thing.
And that
right.
Chip dude, he's a delicate looking thing. One of y'all can take care of him.
I mean, Katie could probably beat all of our asses by herself.
I've never met him. I'm sure he's a great guy.
Yeah,
hope he can
I
take
don't
a
know
small joke.
anything about Chip.
Nice people.
All right,
Mock draft 2024. Go.
all right.
Caleb
I'm just
Williams,
gonna go through
number
the
1.
top 5, and then we're gonna go through some of the quarterbacks drafted.
All right, go.
Number 1, Caleb Williams.
Makes sense.
Number 2, Marvin Harrison.
Really, number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
The amount of wide receivers not going early in this draft was crazy.
It was weird.
By
It
the
was-
way,
it-
Marvin Harrison follows me on TikTok.
4 guys went in the first round. They went bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I mean
4 in a row.
the amount of pass catchers that
Yeah.
usually go in early.
Marvin
sounds
actually
good.
liked one of my TikToks yesterday. Olu Fashunu, the left tackle from Penn State, who could have won top 10 this year.
How did Peter Skronsky, pronunciation, from Northwestern not be the first offensive line off the board?
Well, I think people fell in love with Paris Johnson, and the fact that he wasn't the second one was the crazy.
Tennessee, not Darnell Washington. That's
Darnell Wright,
You're right.
but didn't Paris Johnson go first?
Yeah.
And then Darnell Wright went
Yeah,
second.
all the Bears guys were
Yeah,
like,
it was
why are we-
shocking.
They were
That-
all
pe-
close.
People were shocked when Darnell Wright went ahead of Peter Skoronski.
Drake May, 4th. Dallas Turner, 5th.
Alabama defensive lineman. Yeah.
6th, Quinn Ewers.
I mean,
That's-
yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, he's a big time quarterback with big time. Now, I thought you were going to say somebody else. Is there any other first round quarterbacks in there?
Yeah.
Is Spencer Rattler one?
No.
He's not. Okay.
I mean, Quinn Ewers, I understand the hype. That's to think he's going to go 6th overall is crazy.
Anthony Richardson just went 4th.
They'd
Yeah, but do you think Quinn Ewers is going to have the high highs that Anthony Richardson
I think
did?
he could.
what's the highest rated recruit ever?
They play Alabama. If they beat Alabama, I think that's going to
And
be.
I
he
think he
has a-
could. Okay, no. Who are the other quarterbacks
JJ McCarthy.
In the first round?
Yeah.
of the NFL draft
Yeah.
from
15th.
from Michigan?
15th.
And
Did he
then
To
get-
who?
Did he get an arm transplant?
they're just random teams. Like
Okay.
it's not. And
All
then
right.
I
Dolphins.
didn't know if he had a projection.
23rd, Michael Penix.
Michael Penix doesn't surprise me near as much as JJ McCarthy.
Tell you
does.
what,
and I know you're low on JJ McCarthy.
Well, I
but
tell you what. I as a Dolphins fan, I'm not just running to the window to sign up for undersized left-handed quarterbacks anytime soon. Seems like that's what got us in the situation we're in now. I got to make Penix is left-handed. Yeah, he's left-handed.
Yeah.
he's for sure left-handed.
Yeah, he
okay.
is.
Continue.
He was like on the top 5 list of left-handed guys on your
No,
list.
I actually.
I'm looking at another draft. Neither of those are in there.
JJ McCarthy at 15 is crazy, and I think he's much better than you do.
Yeah.
But that's an insane.
He's fine. I don't think he's an NFL guy.
Definitely not a first rounder.
And I've seen a lot with Spencer Rattler in there, which I also
Is Spencer Rattler
think
in
I
that
disagree
one?
with.
Nope.
Who's on yours?
I'm looking at the 24/7 one.
Okay.
It's
Caleb Williams 1.
yep. Marvin Harrison 2.
Yeah.
The Penn State offensive tackle Fashanu.
Yeah.
Fashanu. 4 Dallas Turner, 5 Drake May, 6 Brock Bowers, 7 Kool-Aid McKinstry, 8 Joe Alt, offensive tackle Notre Dame.
Yep.
9 Jared Verse, edge Florida State.
Florida State, yeah.
Pittsburgh for 10 Mason Smith, defensive line.
LSU.
Yes.
2 A's in Mason, right? He was
but is he going to be
he
healthy?
was hurt last year. He got hurt in the first game.
The turf.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting
Celebrating.
to see. And then Harold
Quinn
Perkins, who would be
Ewers-
their best player this year, will not be eligible.
Quinn Ewers 12. to the Packers.
Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. Now, a couple more news items. We did the
don't
Michigan State
understand that.
transfers. We did the draft stuff.
Tyler Buchner.
So last week we found out Tyler Buchner had entered the transfer portal, and we projected him to go to Alabama. He has now, in fact, gone to Alabama, which he was a very highly rated recruit.
He was a 4-star.
He was a 4-star, but he was like
People talked about him a lot.
I was
it
talking
like.
to our resident Travi, our resident Alabama guy. He says that Alabama offered Buchner before Milroe.
I can see that.
Yeah, like he was a higher rated recruit.
I can see
Are
that.
people saying that
think-
Milroe's much better now? Wasn't that
Alabama
coming out of the
people
spring?
are.
Well, they're trying to, but whatever. If
I
Milroe
think-
were much better or Ty Simpson were
They
good,
wouldn't have brought.
they wouldn't have gone and got Buchner. Now, there's familiarity with the offensive coordinator, but it is the biggest show of quarterback vulnerability we've seen from Nick Saban. And a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, remember the year they came in with this guy, they came in with McCarron. Every time they came in with a guy, they knew at least that was going to be the guy. Like when they came, the guy from Florida State, Coker, right?
Yeah, Jacob Cocker.
They knew he was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
It was never a choice. Now they don't even know who's going to
This
be
is
the guy.
the most vulnerable they've been since what's his name started. Then Jalen came in against USC.
Was it Blake? No, not Blake.
Barnett?
Yeah, Barnett. Okay.
This is why they're so dangerous.
Did you sing that?
I was about to.
But they're not
I didn't
dangerous.
mean to.
Well, I would actually
was
say
weird.
bring
Could we
Bringing-
get demonetized just for singing sentences in our own tone?
but you never know. YouTube, their computers
No
are
singing
crazy.
whatsoever.
Yeah, don't sing.
YouTube, I'm just saying words. It's not a real song.
Yeah, that's a Wiggles song.
Okay, that is a
No,
Wiggles song.
but the Buchner, I put out a tweet. I mean, if you're just thinking of it from just a pure probability perspective, he probably helps Alabama 1% or 2 from really reaching their goals because it adds another chance to the quarterback room. If 2 guys fail and those are your only 2 options, you don't have a third, then it's over. But now you technically have 3 to see if you go through them. But the thing with college football is you don't have a lot of time to go through them. But Tyler Buchner, I actually think he's going to be the starter.
You don't have a lot of time, and I know it's going against what you just said, where it's like they've known who their guy's going to be, even if it's just like a game manager type guy. If you're going to take a head coach right now in college football and say their quarterback's going to be serviceable and they can do really well with it, it is Alabama.
Yeah, it is.
Well, is it though?
Well,
Because last year, think about Milroe.
the bigger questions
He
are
wasn't
guys-
serviceable.
the bigger questions are
He was horrible.
can they hand whoever the quarterback is elite receivers? Because that's
Right.
what they've been able to do the last 5 or 6 years, and I don't know if they've answered that question. Yes.
Their wide receiver room's decent, but it does not compare to.
It's not what it was,
You're
yeah.
looking at the mock drafts. They don't have 3 wide receivers in the first round.
It-
They have what's his name coming back from Georgia who got punched in the face by the Tennessee sorority girl.
Jermaine Burton.
But that's why
Corey
the,
Brooks, I believe.
Yep.
The guy, yeah.
That's why when we talk about LSU in 2019, they would not have won that national title if Joe Burrow wasn't on there. That's an obvious thing to say. Nick Saban has won national titles with quarterbacks that had no business being national
And a
title
different time though.
Yeah. I mean,
But he also had
Stetson
an
Bennett's not.
overwhelmingly
That's
good
true.
defense in those years, and this year I don't think with Kevin Steele, I don't know if he's got the overwhelmingly.
But if you put
good
Stetson
defense.
Bennett on a different team that didn't have the defense that Georgia had,
no.
right? So
No.
it's like it is possible
It's
to
a team
win
game,
with a guy.
Smith.
I know, which is why I hope USC gets a defense.
They're working on it. Got Bear Alexander. Okay, so we're gonna skip this one, and I'll come back to that next week. Oh, I'm glad you're here because at the end of the show we're gonna tier the helmets of college football. So you get to be here for that. Thank goodness.
I do want to give some respect to I forgot about this guy. They brought in the top JUCO wide receiver Malik Benson.
Is our database able to handle having 3 people tier the helmets?
Wait, he
3.
No, I have to code it again.
Oh well, then I mean, I don't want to make Noah work overtime like that.
well, he's going to have to do it.
Damn, Jack.
Also 4, not 3.
Yeah, what WTF?
This is the 3rd week in a row, Brandon.
You weren't here at the beginning. I wrote that line when you weren't here.
And also,
You
by the
think that
way,
works?
there was no.
No.
We didn't keep the topic from you this week. There was no. We just walked in. He
Yeah,
wrote it
Brandon
down.
and I actually texted about it separately,
sense.
which is
Oh wow. Okay, so now we're out of the loop, Katie.
Wow.
What did we text about? We didn't say anything.
You know what?
huh?
I'm not out
you
of the
asked
loop
if I wanted
on.
to talk about
You
it.
know what I
I'm not-
need right now?
Yeah.
I need some. It's okay to not be okay, Smith.
Oh, you need some therapy.
I need a little
I'm
help.
glad you didn't lose that one too.
Need a little help. Well,
You know what month it is?
Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
yes, it is. May is mental health.
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 HELTH.
Today is. The month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up on what everyone else needs from you, and you never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. It's actually
Facts.
a very profound sentence I
And
just
it's
said
true.
right there.
Copywriters went off on that one.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
You really can't.
You can't pour from an empty cup. It's a fact.
But when we spend all our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin and burned out. Can it be frustrating just giving all the time and never...
He's looking at Katie, by the
Never
way.
taking-
He craned his neck around me. What's going on?
Therapy can give you the
Oh,
tools
no.
to find more balance in your life so you can
Oh,
keep
no.
supporting others without leaving yourself behind. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
That's huge.
Find more balance with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/Smith today to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/Smith to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/Smith.
It's okay to not be okay.
It certainly is. Here's my hype train segment, okay?
Ooh, choo choo.
What?
I was doing a train. Choo choo.
Okay.
Soundboard. Can we get a soundboard for the fall?
No, I would like Jack to be the soundboard.
Like have Jack pre-record all the soundboards.
Like if I say, all right, here the team's taking off, I want him to do an airplane sound or something.
That sounded.
That sounded like a revving of a car engine.
The hype train pulling out of the station, programs that are going to have to prove it this year, programs who have put themselves in position to do it. Now, last year, if we go retroactively and do who the hype train teams were last year, remember when we thought NC State was going to be real good?
Michigan State was definitely a high.
South
Michigan
Carolina.
State was way up there.
North Carolina still won the great games.
North Carolina definitely
Yeah.
had some hype.
South Carolina did, but they ended up finishing the season.
Yeah, these.
Like
Well,
that was.
keep South Carolina's name out of your mouth for right now
Oh,
because
okay.
they're going to come around in a second.
Texas had a lot of hype.
Texas did, but there were certain teams that had hype. Wake Forest have a little hype. It was
Yes.
NC State, Wake Forest. Now this year, here are the
Miami.
programs I wrote down. Miami, yes.
Huge.
I wrote down 6 programs with bigger than usual expectations. Actually, I wrote 7. I'm lying. And here they are. And these are varying levels of expectations.
I mean, the number one is obvious.
Who is it?
Colorado.
The
The most hype?
No, if I'd put him number 1, but I do have him on the list because you can call hype anything. Hype might be when you're projected to play for a national title.
Right.
Hype might be when you're projected to win in your division, or hype might be a 1-11 team that everybody is talking about for reasons.
If you talked to earlier, Jack, about the amount of posts Michigan State had about Mel Tucker. If you look at overall headlines from the offseason, Colorado would probably
Deion Sanders is the biggest name we've seen enter college football possibly ever.
It's insane.
It's he commands.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. We talked about it with a lot of our guests, and we've talked about it on these podcasts. Like, what happens when it goes 3-9?
Well,
Well, that's where I'm saying with the expectations, because it's not just like they went 1-11 and then they're expected to be a little bit better. People are talking about them making the playoff in a couple years.
Well, he's completely
Right.
revamped the whole. I mean, through the engine, he got a car and he stripped it down, and nothing but the steering wheel is left. And now he's building the parts back, so he's got to finish. He's going to build this roster over the next 2 or 3 months. He's still got 20 spots to fill.
There was a very interesting clip of the wide receiver, Montana. I forget his last name. And he I think it was like in one of their vlogs, and Shadur was like, "Tell him why you're transferring. Tell him why you're transferring." And then he was smirking. So they're still hanging out with this guy, and this was out there on transfer, and they're like, "Tell him why. Tell him why." And they kept saying "Tell him why and tell him the real reason." And then the guy kept smirking. So maybe some of these guys are leaving for other reasons. Maybe he has a girl at some university. Who knows?
So Colorado will have a lot of hype, and they are on this list. I can't tell you how many games they're going to win because I don't know who's going to be on their team. We still going to find out.
We know Shadur?
How they're going to
Travis
fill
Hunter?
out. Cormani McLean's going to be on the team. They're still got to fill out.
Cormani.
They added a defensive back, I believe, today from somebody.
But the tight end they brought in, who was the number 1 tight end in the transfer portal, already re-entered the transfer portal.
But I got a question.
He was posting vlogs from Colorado in the spring.
Actually, I want to have this Deion conversation next week because it's a bigger conversation than I want to have right now. So let's put a pin in that. We're going to put a pin in that. Other teams with big expectations this year. Florida State has big expectations. 9-3 last year. They beat LSU. They bring Jordan Travis back. They bring Jared Verse back.
They're excited.
They're very, very excited. They should be. They're going to be one of the co-favorites in the ACC with Clemson. This is probably the most hyped Florida State team in 5 to 6 years at least. Will they be able to live up to it? I don't know, but they have the hype train is rolling with Florida State this year.
Oh my God!
And the ACC feels like now we know that Clemson's going to be good and Dabo is Dabo, but the ACC feels like it's more wide open for them to take over than it has been.
It is a conference they can
win it without.
You can make big strides.
Right, where in the last however many years it's been, it's like, well, if you're not Clemson, you don't have a chance. This year, you definitely feel like you have a chance.
Another team that the hype train has a hold of this year, the LSU Tigers. Now, I think this one's very interesting because they're always close to being in that national title conversation because of the elite level they recruit at and the elite resources they put into football. I don't know if I get this one as much, though, because it's not an easy schedule. And people look at last year, and the thing that stands out about LSU is they beat Alabama. And that's great. That's awesome. They won the West. The West was down. They won the West. They beat Alabama. Two big things. So they look at LSU as this rising superpower, but they lost to the worst A&M team ever in Week 12. They had several close games against bad teams. They lost to Florida State in a neutral site game. Not a neutral site. They lost to them in the Superdome. Like, this wasn't a team that was just brilliant from start to finish last year. They put themselves in position to maybe even backdoor the playoff there at the end with 2 losses. Then they lost to a bad A&M team. You were about to say something about that?
Well, I don't think A&M was that bad.
We're also talking about, and I understand
And
Brian Kelly.
LSU was decent by the end of the year.
LSU went into that game 9-2 with a win over Alabama.
No, LSU should have won that game, but I mean, I get it. That was Texas A&M Super Bowl. LSU didn't show up.
But also, and I understand that we're not talking about a first-year head coach that had never been a head coach anywhere before because Brian Kelly had a million years at Notre Dame and was very successful there. It still was his first year as a head coach there.
Yeah.
And to have that success to almost backdoor the college football playoff.
That's why I don't really give him guff for losing to Florida State because he lost to them in Week 1.
So that to me says, like, and I know we talked a lot of shit about them early on, but it's because it's easy to talk shit about Brian Kelly. But that's still very impressive in your first year. I mean, think about all the first-year head coaches that we gave so much credit to. I mean, obviously, Sonny Dykes being that number one, but Brian Kelly going to a different conference to LSU and having that success.
Fair enough.
Hype.
But now they got to beat Florida State again, or they got to beat Alabama on the road to be a playoff contender. That's a lot to ask. I think Washington will have a lot of hype this year. Michael Penix Jr. is back. Kalen DeBoer in his second year. They went 10-2 last year. Seemed like they did it very quietly, too. A lot of the attention for much of the year was on your USCs and your Utahs and your Oregons.
They lost that Friday night game against UCLA. But I think Washington has probably one of the better chances to derail. Because I think they could lose that. I think they have Boise State the first week. Then they play Michigan State the third week. Like, what happens if it's not impossible they end up 1-2 after that.
I guess. I just think that's a very good coach and a very good quarterback. Now, can Penix do it twice? Because him doing it once was a surprise. Him doing it twice locks him in as a terrific, fantastic college quarterback. I don't know. A lot of hype. We're going to have to see it. Colorado I already mentioned. I think South Carolina comes in this season with a tremendous amount of hype. And this is another one that if you look at their season and the way it ended, you look at incredibly positive things. They ended by beating Tennessee by 28 points and then beating Clemson. Like, that's an incredible way. But it also ignores the fact that Florida beat them 38-6. It ignores the fact that they lost to, I think, Missouri at home. Like, there were steps forward at the end, but they spent 2 months not taking a step forward and then finally did it. Which one is the team that we'll see this year? Shane Beamer is obviously somebody who's got it together and is a very good coach. Spencer Rattler had a brilliant end of the season, but wasn't brilliant before then. So who are they? What are they?
Lost to Missouri and Arkansas, too.
Yeah, Arkansas they lost to early in the season, I think. I can't remember exactly when it was. At least that one was
Week 2.
That one was in Fayetteville.
Yep.
So I don't mind that one as much as losing to Missouri at home.
They had really high hopes going into last season. I mean, at least I was buying into it because I didn't think Spencer Rattler was going to be as bad as he was early in the season. But the way he played by the end of the season is what I expected him to play at the beginning.
It might have been one of the best quarterbacks in the country in November.
If he can continue that,
Yeah.
fine. But we also know that Spencer Rattler's had those expectations his entire career.
Two
even
more
at OU.
hype train teams. I think Notre Dame. They went 9-4 last
Yep.
year. Beat South Carolina in a bowl. Now they have a new quarterback, Sam Hartman. That's hype. I think they we'll see about them. And then Penn State. Penn State, who has not proven they can beat Ohio State, Michigan in the same year in a while, will have to at least split to matter this year. They have
James
Michigan.
Franklin's got to get one of those.
They have Michigan at home, and Ohio State on the road. So you got to at least split that to be special, and then win every other game.
And I think you guys argued about this too, because Jack, didn't you have James Franklin as a top 10 coach?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fine, he's got to win a top 10 game in order.
Well,
for that
it's-
to
I mean,
be-
he's beaten Ohio State a bunch of times. He's beaten Michigan.
but isn't the whole thing he hasn't won a top 10 game his entire time at Penn State?
We beat Ohio State when Ohio State was back in
16?
Yep.
There's a streak. I think it's like 0-10 or 0
Yeah.
Or it's been a while. I know. I mean, James Franklin, to me, if I was a Penn State person, I would be so fucking frustrated with him.
All right. Now,
I wouldn't, because the grass isn't always greener.
That is absolutely true.
And he
or maybe it
recruits
is.
Willie really, really well.
People didn't think Mark Richt.
hold on. Can we just rewind to what Casey Smith just said?
What did I do?
You said the grass is always greener, and she goes, "That's true." Unless maybe it is.
Well, it has been in some time. Like, you look at Texas, the grass was not greener when they got rid of Mac Brown.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
You look at
And
Georgia,
Nebraska.
people were pissed about Mark Richt. Grass was greener. So
Sometimes
maybe
grass
it
can
is.
be too green, though.
That is true. Sometimes it can be too
Yeah,
perfect.
but your grass, the soil you have.
Yeah. It's all
And
about
the
your soil.
Georgia
You
knows
sound
they
like you're
had
coming
the
up-
soil.
But don't you
know
think
who you
Texas
sound like
thought
right
that
now?
too?
Texas did.
You sound like Dabo right now. Dabo would come out and say, the grass ain't always greener. It's not about the grass, it's about the soil.
Okay. but
And they knew their soil was good. But Penn State's soil,
Tainted.
It ain't about the grass.
It's about the soil.
The
what about
grass.
Colorado?
It's about the soil.
That's one I feel like is
What do
that
you mean?
with like if we're going back to the soil like that.
He's changing the whole garden.
Well, he's a fertilizer.
He's bringing in
Yeah.
some topsoil.
He's the
yeah,
fertilizer.
but their soil was so bad they just kept
Well, it's a bad climate for growing crops. It's too high.
No, it's good for some crops.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But their last great
Some of the
coach
best
was Mel
crops.
Tucker. He was there for a year.
Maybe he's the type of guy that once you get a different kind of like fertilizer on steroids, it'll
Yeah.
change the whole.
Yeah,
whole thing.
But this is a hell of a project, and if it don't work,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna have soil for a long
Yeah.
time.
It says under Franklin, the Lions are 2-15 against a top 10 team and 1-10 against top 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have, but I for
All
some
right.
reason thought it was they had
All right.
never.
Here we go. So I saw, and we're going to get to the 2-minute drill for you, but I saw this post on Reddit College Football that I really loved it, and it was ranking the SEC by Waffle Houses within 25 miles of campus.
Like
Okay.
quantity or quality?
Quantity. Who do you think in the SEC has the most Waffle Houses within 25 miles of campus?
Georgia.
That's a decent guess. Who do you think?
It's not Georgia.
We both think it's Georgia.
Auburn.
No, got to think where they are. Metro area. Vanderbilt has 34 Waffle Houses.
mean,
Being in
that's-
Nashville, has 34 Waffle Houses within 25 miles. It's Vanderbilt, then South Carolina, and then Georgia. I think are the top three.
I would think anything around Atlanta has to be. I don't know. Waffle House sounds so good right now.
I think because all of our like Atlanta win merch, especially for the Braves,
Yeah.
were the Waffle House logo. So I just associate that.
Starkville, we're 12th in the SEC. We have 3 within 25 miles. Ole Miss is 13th. I can't remember who's 14th. That might be Missouri. I think it's
That
Missouri.
would make sense.
There's not very many.
Well, there's
in Texas. I mean,
distances.
there are Waffle Houses in Texas, but
Yeah.
there's not any.
Ooh, A&M is the furthest SEC school away from
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Yikes. That's a
69 miles. though.
which I
Congrats.
asked the question. That begs the question: if I were to rank other conferences similarly, and we can do this quickly, if I were to rank the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, what restaurant would I use?
Pac-12 would be In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. That's what I thought too.
Pac-12 would definitely be In-N-Out.
Big Ten would be only Wisconsin and Indiana has that. What's that? blue and
Culver's?
white? Yeah, Culver's.
Culver's is delicious.
Bucky's? Where's Bucky's?
Bucky's is
Bucky's
Texas.
is like Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Big
Yeah,
12
what-
might be Bucky's.
Yeah, Big 12
would-
maybe. But
The
what
SEC
would-
would be
Whataburger.
Bucky's.
Big
too.
12 could be Whataburger too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most Whataburgers within range of the campus.
What would the Big Ten be? What's the
Wawa?
like?
Culver's.
For like Big Ten East would be Wawa.
No.
Like
Steak
Bob
and
Evans
Shake?
or something.
Wawa
Steak and
is like
Shake?
only like that's
Northeast?
like Philly. Like you would almost have like Penn State would just win it. Like I don't think there's a lot of Wawas in Ohio and stuff.
I don't know what the Midwest
I
would
don't
be.
either.
I think it's
Culver's it might be it.
That just
It's gonna be
tells you
like
this.
Chili's.
Yeah.
Maybe an Arby's. Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
I do love Chili's.
All right, are you ready for your very own 2-minute drill?
ACC have one.
I think they would do well with waffle.
Casey Smith, are you ready for your very own 2-minute drill?
I was really,
Cookout,
I was
ACC.
truly trying to think about the Midwest about
Which is-
the food,
Bottom
but
half.
yes, I am.
It's ironic because 2-minute drill is what you got you in your situation in the first place.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a way to label a child, a situation.
Well, isn't he?
There
like,
you go. Don't
Well,
you
the-
piss off Jack right
The
now.
Jersey Shore parents at some point decided that, right?
Yeah,
They can name their kid the situation.
I get it.
But she's been texting the group chat saying, I can't be there, my situation.
That's actually fact.
That is absolutely false.
Um,
I would never call him a situation.
number 1, what's been your favorite thing about motherhood?
Oh, this is like we're going deep in the 2-minute
That's
drill.
the deepest one.
Oh, okay. My favorite thing about motherhood, just staring at him like he
Yeah.
just like we
That's a
made
good-
that. We made that.
They'll-
a good answer.
Them women will just stare at the baby.
No, that's
I
a
mean,
good answer.
we
Yeah.
just you make humans from scratch. It's crazy.
No, it's
Can I ask you a question? And this is how you know you're really deep into parenting. Have you, at night when he's asleep, have you jostled him to make him move so you
Oh.
know he's breathing?
Yes.
Okay.
In
Oh.
the stroller too.
Right,
In
yeah.
the stroller
what
too.
you think it's like that was it?
It's well,
Yeah.
If they're too quiet for too long,
Yeah.
you think something's wrong.
That's fair.
And like you kind of touch their hand a little bit
Make 'em
to
react,
make
yeah.
them react. But yeah, no, I think just staring at a thing that you made and that I like grew him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Number 2,
Yeah.
as deep as that was about parenthood, this one is that shallow about
Oh,
parenthood.
okay.
What was your first drink?
A glass of red wine.
Glass of red wine?
Yes. And had you not lost the sponsorship to, prior, I probably would have said that. But the truth is red wine immediately.
Yeah.
I
So-
did bring her the new pack though, so she's
She
trying
did.
them.
She did. But I, can't talk about
Can you
it.
go to work on maybe getting them back?
I can do that for you. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'll apologize profusely for your blunder.
So hey guys, I know that situation happened.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
He's really stupid.
Uh,
But yeah, of course
Makes
it was
you
red
look
wine.
better.
In fact, other than when Katie came and brought the new pack, that's red wine is the only thing I've had.
what was your favorite food while pregnant?
Oh. Overall, favorite food was probably watermelon. I know you hate that.
I hate watermelon.
I know.
Low
It is
calories.
good.
I loved watermelon. By the end of my pregnancy, all I wanted was chocolate chip cookies.
Watermelon stinks right now though.
What do you mean?
Like the season. I'm just like.
Oh, I'm not eating it now, Katie. I'm not pregnant anymore.
I know, but I'm
Paul,
saying.
this
I
watermelon
like
ain't played
watermelon.
nobody this year.
No, it's, for the past
Watermelon
weekend, they get
stinks.
watermelon from the store,
Watermelon.
and It
Their
tastes
defense
like
is
nothing.
not good.
No,
So bad.
I think the weirdest one that I ate though was baked beans. I loved some baked
Ew.
beans when I was pregnant.
I thought pickle stuff you like.
Oh well, I mean that's all the time.
That
though.
is
Like
true.
in pregnancy, the two things that I ate the most that I don't eat a lot of, not pregnant, baked beans and watermelon.
Number 4.
It's not together.
If you had to pick one college football coach to be the life coach for your son for the rest of his life, who would you pick?
Dabo.
Oh,
I
Lord.
get it.
She wants to
Now
make
listen.
She wants to make him in God's name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
because
it's-
children
it's-
are a gift from God. Also, he seems to be very positive.
Yeah.
So even if he's having a bad day,
Yeah.
he's gonna
But
coach
what
the hell
happens
out of your
when the-
kid.
Yeah, but what happens when he pulls the baby scholarship?
Well, he's a life coach, though. He's getting paid to tell all the good
Fair
things.
enough, okay.
Now, if it's somebody that's just going to be around him 24/7 and show his true colors, maybe not. But a guy like Dabo that can think about all the dumb shit that he's said and done, and those players eat it up in the locker
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
My son I think he would take well to Dabo. Plus, I would much rather him be with somebody that like talks about God than not.
So you want him to be in a cult no matter
Pretty
what.
good answer.
A&M, Clemson.
Yeah, no, my
God's
Eagles.
not a cult.
No, she meant
Dabo is though.
Yeah, Dabo.
Yeah, yeah,
Dabo,
like
yeah.
Dabo.
I know. I was just
I mean,
joking
I'm
around.
very susceptible to cults, so
Yeah.
You were in one.
I think I've been in multiple.
MGK is its own cult.
While you were gone,
That was probably the least one you've been in.
Oh, definitely.
which
And that's I mean, at one point I think I was in 3 at a time.
which online fan base did you miss the most?
None of them.
Miss the most? The Unnecessary Roughness crew.
Miss interacting with?
The Roughnecks.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's nice.
I think probably just college football in general. I know that sounds crazy, but you really like. I always miss college football in the summer whenever we're getting like really close to it, and you're like, okay, we
Yeah.
need games to start. boy, I've been missing football even more.
We're
this
not
time.
that far off. It's now May.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
It's gonna be here, especially with you
We
as
got
a
3
parent.
more-
It's gonna be here before you know it.
May, June,
true.
July,
We need the
August.
Do the
magazines to start
days just
dropping.
blend together now more for you, or no?
Yes, but it's that whole cliche of like the days are long but the weeks are short or some
Yeah, I know
bullshit
what
where
you're
it's like
saying.
every day. Like getting to walk to work today, which was the first time I've done it since. So I went into the hospital 2 days after my last show here when I did the
Yes.
Super Bowl pro football show.
Oh, yeah.
It's the last time since, which by the way I can't believe I even did that because I could have gone into labor at any point.
You were like waddling around.
Oh, I mean, I was gigantic. And I mean, I gave birth 2 or 3 days later. But walking to work today, I was like, damn, it doesn't feel like I ever left, but it feels like I haven't been here in 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, this place is like a time warp. Like it doesn't.
The more
doesn't
stuff
make sense.
changes, the more stuff stays
I've
the same.
missed it a lot. I'm glad to be back. You guys have done a fantastic job. And I don't know if you guys have fought on the podcast at all. Have you?
No.
So the parents haven't been
Well,
fighting?
there was the issue with I brought somebody on and he was just the worst human being
Oh,
ever.
I saw those clips.
But we didn't even fight about that because Jack
know.
himself knew that was.
Well,
No, there was no fighting. I said that was the worst thing ever, and that was my fault.
I watched like the raw of it. I was walking down the street. I just stopped in my tracks.
I did
Mouth-
too.
No,
I
it
was
was the,
shocked.
it
y'all
was,
got this. Y'all saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing. You know, it's not changed. You don't read the group,
Group chat.
text. Which I've been very thankful to be
Yeah.
in the group text still.
Did you find
but-
a Nerf gun, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
This office still has Nerf bullets around from October 2019 when I interviewed.
Oh, that was a good time.
Well, they were Saturday. Casey was texting the group that she was coming back,
Yeah.
and Jack and Katie were welcoming, and I didn't answer. And they were like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, I'm on my 4th target trying to find a specific Nerf gun."
Casey goes, well, I guess I won't come in then,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah, 'cause
and
I
then you responded and said, yeah, I love what you guys are talking about. And then 2 minutes later, you're like, oh, wait, I see what happened.
And then he said, "Please come back" or something. But
Yeah.
I text Katie separately. I was like, "Was my GIF not obvious
I
enough?"
was-
Because I texted right
No,
after
I
Brandon
got
had
it. I
responded.
understood.
I
understood what
had
it was.
my 10-year-old and my 7-year-old in the car. We went to Target in Paramus. We went to Best Buy in Paramus. Then we had to go to Target and Closter. They didn't have it. We had to go to Target, the other Target in Paramus. Like I was on my 4th Target
But
trying
you-
to find a specific Nerf gun.
Things to look forward to.
I finally found it.
What's
yeah.
a good amount to walk out of Target and spend to help me settle an argument? And be like, wow, I was like under control. Maybe it's more of a Casey question.
If I walk out of Target under $200, I'm ecstatic.
Thank you. Okay.
I was going to say
I'm gonna
150.
be honest.
I've done it
I
back to
haven't
back.
walked into a Target, I think, a decade.
It's
Wow.
it's sneaky. I'm trying to furnish an apartment with like all knickknacks. So, like not
I would
art,
go into Target
like,
a lot if I
organization.
moved to where you moved.
Yeah. I've walked out 2 times. One, I was blackout drunk after my birthday, $25, and I tell my
Wow.
boyfriend that, and he's like, "You act like this is the second
No,
coming."
it's very hard.
Thank you.
Wait. What time were you in Target at?
No, this it was brunch.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It
Okay.
was heavy margaritas.
Well, Casey Smith, welcome back.
I'm very happy to be back.
Delightful
Thank
to have you back.
Thank
The
you.
podcast was not the same without you.
Target at night, that would be a
Yeah,
scary
no.
place.
Guys, I was trying to be nice.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you,
No,
Brandon.
why are you saying thank you? I wasn't.
To be nice.
I was saying welcome back to Casey. Podcast wasn't the same without her, and that's when y'all
Yeah,
chime in and say,
We agree.
I agree.
Even if
Someone
they're
needs to
lying to me, it's
corral
okay.
they're even worse now than they were when you left.
Really?
You're gonna have to get the kids in
Just to
line.
you, not to
Okay.
Casey.
All right,
True.
there's your Unnecessary Roughness podcast.